you might notice right away is a little bit different from my other videos is that I'm not at the piano outlet today. Today I'm actually at the home of Mr. Bob Harris over here in Palm Beach. And Bob is the owner of this beautiful and lovely Yamaha CF. The Yamaha CF is a full concert grand. It's 9 foot long. And Bob has had the piano, how long, basically?
I've had it for almost 9 years.
Really?
Yes.
And how did you come upon it, and what made you decide to buy a 9-footer? Usually a 9-footer is in a concert hall. What's doing it in a home?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I have played since I was a youngster. Always dreamt of having an instrument with this capacity for sound.
Right.
The richness of it and the full bandwidth, if you will, in
Right.
today's lingo of sound. And waited many years to be able to be in a position to purchase one.
Really?
And so I've had it for almost 9 years and loved every single moment of it. And I want to tell you right up front, the only reason that this is leaving my home is because of health issues. My hearing and some other things that I no longer can use the piano the way it should be.
Right. I'm sorry to hear that. And, you know, I wish I was acquiring such a beautiful instrument under different circumstances.
Exactly.
But this piano today will be transported over to the piano outlet, and we're going to do actually very little to it, just mainly some detailing and some cleaning. But for all intents and purposes, this piano is basically still a brand new piano. I mean, you've kept incredible care of it. The finish on it is perfect. The interior of it is clean. It's just really magnificent. And incidentally, I played this piano quite extensively just before this video and tell you the piano plays beautifully. I mean, how was the action? Who set up the action for you? The action is like butter.
A wonderful piano technician who I got to know down here about 10, 15 years ago. A gentleman who for 21 years was associated with the Steinway Corporation up in New York. Wonderful technical person. Removed the registration from this instrument,
Right.
tuned it up perfectly,
Right.
and put it back in, and it is like butter today.
Right.
It is magnificent. And I want to say one more thing to the prospective buyers out there. This instrument is such a magnificent piece with such beautiful sound that famous artists that would come to Florida would request this particular piano. It actually has, from the Yamaha Corporation, a beautiful brass seal on the cover of the keyboard that indicates a certain number on there. The Yamaha Corporation did that for the prized instruments. And people like Andre Watts, still playing these days, a great concert artist, Herbie Hancock, the beautiful, wonderful jazz pianist, and Marvin Hamlish, who recently passed away, requested this instrument anytime they came to concertize in the South Florida area, and it was brought to a concert hall for them to play. So that speaks volumes and spoke volumes to me as a purchaser of this instrument, because it was never privately owned. It was only owned by the Yamaha Corporation. They held it and would only send it out to use with very, very important pianists. So I was very honored to be able to own this instrument.
I actually forgot about that when you originally told me about the piano. But one other thing I wanted to just talk about a little bit, it doesn't really have anything to do with the piano before we close out, was basically you're retired in Palm Beach?
Yes.
And what did you do previous to this?
Oh my goodness. Well, I was a broadcast meteorologist
Right.
for many years in New York City.
Right.
And worked on many famous television and radio stations up there, so CBS and WOR and places like that, and was involved in the media, and also wrote the initial weather column for the New York Times. So
it's funny because I remember you being on the radio back then in the 70s. We went by Dr. Bob, right?
Absolutely.
Dr. Bob, yes,
It's
in the
true.
morning. I remember going to high school and listening to him on the radio.
It is true. It is true, and a wonderful career in New York. But I've always, since 5 or 6, loved playing piano. It's
Yeah.
a real love. Meteorology was one, and music the other. And so this,
Well, that's great. Thank you so much for your time in this little video. I think it'd be great because a lot of people always ask me, do you know the history of the piano that you're offering? And many times I don't, because most of my pianos come directly from Japan. This is an exception, and you're an exception. You're exceptional, so is the piano. And
Thank you.
you know,
Thank you. I know it's in good hands, and
Yes.
I must tell you that I have a feeling of sadness seeing it going, but I also have joy in knowing that someone that is viewing this may have the distinct pleasure of being able to own